Hi there, my name is Vworp Vworp, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. This is a new segment, new ongoing segment we're going to be doing every Saturday. It's the Comic Sabbath. I was just trying to have a brain fart, trying to remember what I'm calling this. The Comic Sabbath is, look, for me, I'm offline right now. Anything could have happened in the world, and I know nothing about it. I'm a rabbi, I'm Jewish, Orthodox Jewish. So I go offline at about sundown on Fridays, which I live in Israel, so it's that's about what, 5-ish, about 5-ish this time of year in the UK, or about noonish, in the US. And then for 25 hours, I'm offline. So anything could be happening, anything can happen. But the upshot is, I can never post any content on Saturdays. So I'm putting the. Who knows what could happen? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully you'll just watch these videos and go, oh, that's kind of interesting. So what we're going to be looking at today is Before Watchmen, which I thought was a bit of an interesting choice, because originally I thought, well, I'm just going to do all the comics I love. So Watchmen, okay, that's clearly one to start with. And I thought, everybody does a bloody Watchmen. Everybody knows about it. If you don't know about Watchmen, please just go and read Watchmen. It's perhaps one of the most perfect superhero comic books ever written. So it's okay to watch it. So I thought instead let's do Before Watchmen, because it's been a good 10 years since they came out. When was it? 2012. It came out in 2000. So a good 8 years. We've got a little bit of perspective. Are they worth your time? Are they worth you looking at it? People. Look, I read them at the time, but are they worth going back to? These are the weighty questions we're going to be talking about in this video. But before we get there, can I ask you guys? Can you hit that subscribe button? That'll be fan-dabby double dozy. Thank you very much. If you subscribe, of course, I can't guarantee you that that supernatural power will fall upon you. I can't guarantee you that you will have limitless blessings rain upon your head from the good Lord above. I can't even guarantee you there is a good Lord above, right? I can't guarantee you any of that stuff. But it might happen. It might happen. Listen, they said of Abraham, whoever blessed him, himself was blessed. So if you want to bless me with your subscription, I bless you back, baby. I bless you back. But of course, in a very platonic way. This is. I'm not being suggested. Of course, if you do subscribe to the channel, you can enter my weekly competitions, and this one's been freaking massively popular. I'm probably doing the giveaway tonight, Saturday night, when I'm going to be in the TARDIS zone. We're going to be doing a watch along of the Peter Cushing Doctor Who and the Daleks movie. Oh, I can't wait. I love that. I haven't seen that for ages. So what's the prize this week? The prize this week is a Doctor Who comics bundle. Right? It's a comic video. Let's do a comics bundle. First we got Abslom Daak, Dalek Killer. Freaking awesome. Steve Dillon, Steve Moore, David Lloyd. And by the way, my first choice actually wasn't Watchmen. It was going to be V for Vendetta. I might do that next week, but I want to do something a little bit more off the beaten track. Here's the quandary I have as a YouTuber. I like to do stuff that people haven't necessarily seen so much, or they're, again, off the beaten track. But the more popular stuff on YouTube is people things know about, right? So that's the quandary I'm in. Fine. So that's the first prize. The second prize is this collection called the Mark of Mandragona. This is from about 91, I think. So this is the Doctor Who'd been off the air for a couple of years, and they were really forging a new direction there. Who did Lee Sullivan did a lot of the artwork on that. They've got John Ridgway back. John Ridgway is like the granddaddy of Doctor Who comics. So this is his first thing he did for the Colin Baker years. Good little stories as well. And beautiful art. The colouring on this, which was done after the fact, because when I was originally produced, it was in black and white. Just gorgeous. It's really, really gorgeous. Yeah. Oftentimes when you see early 90s colouring, they're like, oh, what the hell? But this is that was pretty darn good. We got the 10th Doctor and Martha strips. I think they're all of them. And then sprinkle a little bit of loving on top of everything else. We have this thing, Vworp Vworp, a fantastic magazine that talks all about Doctor Who comics, and you can't get it anymore. You can. It's out of print. They're doing a reprint of volumes 1 and 2. This is volume 1. Fantastic one, absolutely fantastic. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. That's the point I'm trying to get to. Subscribe to the channel, and in the comments, leave the hashtag Vworp Vworp, VWRP, VWRP. It's in the video notes. Just copy and paste. That's the way of getting it. Just copy and paste. Fine. As I said, I'm probably doing the prize draw tonight. Okay, so let's start talking about Before Watchmen. Now, before I get into it, the thing I thought that was interesting about Before Watchmen in terms of talking about it is obviously Alan Moore hated Before Watchmen, and I didn't really understand it. At the time, I didn't really understand his point of view. It seems to be a very standard industry practice for creators to, well, firstly, creators to be screwed over, but for creators to work on other people's creations, right? So they held off doing this for about 20 years doing this, and eventually they just said, oh, we're going to do it anyway. Legally, we don't have any problem. We own it. So Alan Moore, of course, was very upset. I didn't understand at the time. Now in 2020, I totally do understand. I do understand because we're living in an age where many franchises that are very, very beloved to a lot of people. Yeah, Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, DC Comics, Marvel Comics have been taken over by people who really don't like them, and more importantly, I don't feel understand them. And they made these bastardized versions of them, which are generally been reviled, right? So I just imagine it's going to be even more so for Alan Moore, who actually. I don't have ownership of Doctor Who. Alan Moore has actual ownership of Watchmen. He created Watchmen. So to watch other people, lesser people than him, play around with his inventions without his consent, I can understand why he would not be happy about it at all. What's his take on the whole Before Watchmen range? Valid? I have to tell you. Listen, in terms of quality of the pieces, you had a couple of real gems. I think they only had one real gem, and the rest were like average comics. Some below average, some above. So let's start getting them individually. Comics is a visual medium, and we need to be able to see it. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Brian Azzarello and J.G. Jones Comedian miniseries. I think this is a 4-part series, and it was crushingly disappointing. I love Brian Azzarello I liked his run on Hellblazer. I liked his what was his big one? 100 Bullets, I loved his work, this very like noir-y, crime-esque tales. I really, really liked his work. Love J.G. Jones as well. This one is just, I don't think there's a story there. I mean, there's a story, but it's disjointed. I don't think he connects you to the character of Comedian at all. It still seems very cold and antiseptic, right? You find out a little bit more about his life, but you don't really get inside him to understand his real motivations, which I think was the great opportunity here, which which Azzarello I think really missed. So let's look at some of this artwork here, which is gorgeous. The artwork is freaking wonderful. We got J.G. Jones. J.G. Jones is just really, I think this is probably. I mean, I liked his work in Wanted, but I think this is actually better. So we have a little flashbacks to him growing up, and it's mainly about his life as a political assassin, in the 60s. So you do get references to lots of real day events. This is actually an interesting piece. He came here to kill someone or do something. I can't remember what it was. And he witnesses the guy he's about to kill is like in tears because JFK's just been shot. Spoiler alert. JFK. And there's this weird bonding that goes on between them. I wish we had more more of this kind of like character stuff, which we really didn't get a lot of. But again, as I said, look, in terms of artwork, is gorgeous. The story flows. The story flows unless it's disjointed by the very antiseptic script, which very antiseptic and unengaging script. But again, as I said, look, looks pretty, looks nice and pretty. There's a lot of this use of like the nine panel pages, and it feels a bit forced. It feels like they're trying to be like Alan Moore. Oh, by the way, let's just take a little side talk about the other Watchmen sequels and spin-offs, which are not worth your time in any way, shape, or form. They're absolutely not worth your time. You got Doomsday Clock, which brings Dr. Manhattan into the DC universe for 10 seconds until DC imploded and everybody was fired. And that just seemed to be... I can't remember who did the artwork, but that was... Jeff Johns, wasn't it? Jeff Johns did that. I think it's Jeff Johns. Was it? It's either him or you're gonna let me know in the comments if I got it wrong. But it just seemed to be like that guy really wanting to show off that he's really clever, that he's really, really smart and knows what he's doing, and he's not. It's the trouble. Yeah, he wants to show off his intelligence, but he doesn't have enough to show off, which bit awkward. And honestly, I got about 2-3 issues in. I was bored to tears, absolutely bored to tears. There's a couple of interesting things. You know, he had. It moved the world on 20 years or so. And the other spin-off would be the HBO show, which was just garbage. Absolute garbage. Just completely unengaging characters. I did like the Mirror Mask character guy. I thought he was good. And they had one stellar episode, which was a flashback about him. One absolutely stellar episode. But, in general, the world wasn't fleshed out enough to be believable in any way, shape, or form. And it's all about racism, which, honestly, listen, I started watching Lovecraft County. I got maybe 5 minutes in. Yes, I understand. 70 years ago, America was a very racist place. It was a institutionally racist place. 70 years ago, I think Americans are good and decent people. I think everybody's good and decent people, really. But I think they actively threw off racism. I think they're perhaps the only world power ever to have done that, I just think it's like this Hollywood delusion that brought in as like this unbelievable dull character. I didn't like what they did with Dr. Manhattan. It just wasn't very good. I really hope that we don't see any more of it ever again. I really, really do. These are the only, I would say, like, these before Watchmen things are the only Watchmen spin-offs that are worth looking at. I would say, listen, if you're a creator and you want to play in the Watchmen universe, do exactly what Alan Moore did, right? Just take the characters and reinvent them to be your own. These were the Charlton Hat characters. There was the question was Rorschach. He reinvented it, and once you have the freedom from reinvention, it brings everything alive, and you go in interesting directions. And I don't think Watchmen would have been anywhere near as good as it was if he had used the Charlton characters. So I'm saying comedian, biggest disappointment in the out the bunch for me. That one is not worth it. Absolutely not worth it at all. The second one by Brian Azzarello is equally disappointing, but not quite as disappointing. This has got Lee Bermejo did the artwork. And listen, I just find Azzarello's work outside of crime noir, which I thought this was going to be, which I was really excited for. Just be a bit antiseptic, just again unengaging. This is why I was really up for this one, because it was set in like the 1970s. So you got this like Martin Scorsese, Mean Streets kind of film. And the artwork just really works. I love all this like 70s sleazy Times Square. Which Rorschach just fits so nicely into. What I think they were going for here is something akin to the Joker movie, with what's his name? The guy's bonkers from Gladiator and a bunch of other stuff. I can't remember. Brain fart. Anyway, so that's the vibe they're going for. But again, it just doesn't really. It doesn't connect. It doesn't connect at all. It's a bit of like a little sideway mission for Rorschach. You don't really get into him in any major detail. Essentially, he's like experiences a defeat, and it's about him like coming back. But again, you do get this nice 1970s film, which for me, the Scorsese New Yorkish film, which for me puts it above Comedian, which I thought was just a massive waste of an opportunity. And again, as with all these before Watchmen books, the artwork is just freaking fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Lee German, I think, again, probably some of his best work. I think he colored this himself. So again, we get the rolling blackouts, the looting. Yeah, for me, yeah, all this stuff just works. It's just a shame there's not a story to, wrap around it. It's shock over substance. But yeah, again, mighty purdy, shock over over substance. So next one I'm going to talk about is Minutemen. So this is the second best one of the batch in my opinion. I'll say second best one. Let me just move this over here so I can turn the pages and close that. And fine, let's go. So this is by Darwin Cook. She wrote and drew it. She passed away, I believe, hasn't she? Darwin Cook. So this for me is a solidly enjoyable adventure set with masked heroes set in the 1930s. So I like all of that stuff. It shows a knowledge and understanding of Watchmen, but not a slavish, recreation of it. You do get stuff there that we saw in Watchmen from different angles. Like little things that that we touch upon. But where this works, I think where this really works, it doesn't contradict anything we saw in Watchmen, obviously, and it fleshes it out and actually makes it adds new dimension to it and makes it more understandable. This is a good example of subverting expectations, because the expectation they didn't subvert is that feeling of Minutemen, those Minutemen sections. Absolutely, artwork. It depends if you like it. It depends on your taste. It was not scintillating, not putting off. It's okay. Again, there's the kitschy use of like the 9-panel grid, which Alan Moore basically and Dave Gibbons basically used just as a storytelling device, which I think worked very well. It took the visual representation of the story out of the out of the way of the story. It was very much about communicating Alan Moore's plot. Again, I think this one works. I do like this Dr. Manhattan taking apart a gun here, But again, I think this like slavish use of the 9-panel grid might not have been the best. It's okay. It's not. I'll give this one a 6, 7 out of 10. No, I'll give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I'll give both the Rorschach and the comedian ones. Rorschach gets a 6 and comedian gets a 4.5. That again, such a disappointment. So the next one I'm going to talk about, I think, is weaker than the comedian Rorschach one, but the artwork is freaking gorgeous. This is the Aussie Manager series, written by Len Wein and drawn by Jay Lee. So Len Wein invented Swamp Thing, which Alan Moore then very famously went on to take over and reinvent. So I think the thinking was that, like, look, Alan Moore worked on Len Wein's creation. It should be completely legitimate for Len Wein to work on Alan Moore's creation. And again, I think I can understand that, but it just seems to me that in all likelihood. Alan Moore was probably treated terribly. He was probably treated really, really, really badly, and I think he's very upset by it. If you got to check out this this letter by his daughter Leah Moore, when she says, "Yeah, he's a grumpy guy. Alan Moore is grumpy. He's a grumpy man of comics." But then she goes on to talk about how much he loves comics, how much he absolutely loves comics. And to just think for a second, how terrible he must have been treated for somebody who absolutely loves comics to have his heart broken by them over and over and over again, that he won't do comics anymore. And she also brings up the point, can you imagine a 1990s or 2000s where Alan Moore wasn't grumpy, where Alan Moore wasn't screwed over, and we just got like fantastic. We had if you imagine an Alan Moore Green Lantern run and Wonder Woman run and Batman run and working Spider-Man. We were robbed many wonderful comics, which is a real shame. So this isn't a wonderful comic. It looks gorgeous. Jay Lee's work is just stunning. Listen, no disrespect to Len Wein. He's no Alan Moore, right? Len Wein is a jobbing writer from the 70s, 80s, or 70s and early 80s of comics. and where the medium just hadn't expanded enough to be, I think to have the breadth and range that this miniseries needed. So it's a weird one. It was a political maneuver, obviously getting Lemwein to write this, but I would say, look, if you pick one up, cheaply, it's worth getting a trade just for the artwork. The artwork is, absolutely stunning. Look at this, absolutely stunning. It's Aussie Man's with a Bubastis, and we do go into his history a bit. Look, they try his best. Len Wein tries his best. It's probably some of his best work. But look at this, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It's just the script isn't anywhere near the artwork or what inspired it. Look at this wonderful Dr. Manhattan page. This is just a wonderful piece of storytelling. And I do like that they broke out the 9-panel grid because it made it its own thing. Again, the artwork. I can look at the artwork all day. Look, I love this panel of Night. I like different artists interpreting these heroes, which I absolutely loved. I just wish it was done with a happy Alan Moore and a good and a good script. But again, absolutely gorgeous work by Jay Lee, and you do get one of these scenes where you do revisit a scene from Watchmen from a different angle, and and it really works, and it really does work. So this is all from who was this? From Aussie Manders' point of view. So but is it like a must read? Absolutely not. Absolutely not at all. So the final ones we're going to talk about, we're getting moving up in quality. This is written by J. Michael Straczynski, who I think is the best out of the bunch. So Night Owl is a bit of an interesting bird of a story. Let's see where we can find the artwork to start flicking through it. The final one that I'm going to talk about has the most artwork because I absolutely loved it. So this one is an interesting side quest. And I think it's the I think it just speaks of J. Michael Straczynski's superior scripting abilities. That he makes a side story that fits really well into the Watchmen continuity. In Watchmen they pick up a picture from whoever this character was, who was like this vice queen. So this is basically they have this little romance, this little fling as they're dealing with like this hypocritical church, moral crusade, who are of course really terrible, and it does have a lot of Rorschach in as well. The artwork who did the artwork again? Let me have a look. The artwork is by Andy Kubert and was it Andy and Joe Kubert. Look, totally functional. This is probably some of the weakest art in Before Watchmen, but it doesn't matter because the script just really carries it on. It's a great story. It's a really great story. This is a trade that I would recommend if you like Watchmen. Look, if you like Alan Moore, avoid all of them because you're just gonna upset them by buying them. And again, this is like the closing panel, which really again works really well. So the final one we're going to be talking about, which is the best of the bunch, is the Dr. Manhattan series, which again written by J. Michael Straczynski and just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous artwork by Adam Hughes. It's I actually prefer this artwork to the Jay Lee stuff, and that Jay Lee stuff is pretty darn good. But let's look at some of the sequential work, which just really I don't think he's photocopying this thing. I think he's redrawing this panel every time, because I just think that's the kind of artist that he is. But the story is really good. It's really interesting. It's got Dr. Manhattan essentially accidentally changes his history, and so you get into all this quantum reality, quantum physics, which makes it like an interesting story because there's real tension within it. Let me go to an earlier episode. Where we go. Back. Here we go. So yeah, he revisits his old his old stomping grounds at different points in time. And the great thing is you can tell where they are in time by the color of the paper that it's printed on. So this is a very like 1950s pulp paper feel to it, right? And let me see some other page. Yeah, see over here. Same sort of thing. It's it's a little bit darker. You see him growing up. And yeah, you do revisit like classic moments from Watchmen again, but reinterpreted by Adam Hughes, and they're absolutely beautiful. Like look at this page. This page is just fantastic. I wonder if they did the coloring as well, because this is a real coloring page, isn't it? But yeah. Look, again, this is a great, engaging story with characters who you love, told beautifully. Fantastic art. This one's a strong recommend. Dr. Manhattan is a strong recommend. I do like this like sequential storytelling. He's a really good storyteller. Adam Hughes. Have you seen that page already? We and you see like this is in the 80s, so the color stock is a little bit different on the paper, and it's just the covers. Look at these covers; they're just absolutely beautiful, beautiful. And you do get lots of pages like this, like really trippy, like quantum reality pages where like reality is shattering as he accidentally broke it, but. Let me just, we'll just look at some. Yeah, I said this is going to have the most artwork because I just love it the most. But yeah, so we have all this quantum reality about who is he, like what's real, what isn't. But just look at these pages; they're absolutely beautiful, right? They're just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I think what they work so well with them, and I'm actually I think I'm looking at them backwards, and it doesn't matter because the story just flows so beautifully. So then in the last part, you have this really trippy bit where you got Aussie Mandragona talking to Dr. Manhattan. It turns upside down. You've got to turn the whole book upside down. You get this whole section from this other reality you get from turning book upside down. Very clever. Very clever. Very Watchmen. Very highly recommended. Honestly, I think this book is worth doing the whole before Watchmen stuff to start with, because this was an absolutely gorgeous book. So there you go. Before Watchmen, avoid Doomsday Clock, avoid the HBO Watchmen, avoid most of Before Watchmen. My recommends would be Dr. Manhattan is a real, that's a strong recommend. Minutemen I liked a lot. Night Owl, and then you do get other little backup strips they put in there. There was a Silk Spectre series which wasn't very good. Silk Spectre series was kind of like a girls' comic. It was kind of like a girls' comic with a slightly more layered Animore-esque feel to it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the Comic Sabbath. What am I going to do next week? I don't know. I have to reread stuff before I do it. I might do one of the Animal Watchmen's, Swamp Things, but I might do Murder Me Dead, which is a book that nobody remembers, and it's really good. It's a David Lapland book, and it's a really good three-dimensional complete crime thriller. I just got to remember to read it during the week. So there you go. My name is Vworp Vworp, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.